Mute. All right, here we go. Anthony ONeal.
What's going on, fam? It's your boy Anthony ONeal. Welcome back to The Table. It's a special edition because today I'm by myself, but I'm not by myself. Yo, Brian, what's up, big bro?
What's going on, Ayo, man? How you feeling, man?
Man, I'm feeling good, man. You know, I'm ready for this Corona stuff to turn around, but, you know,
I'm done. I'm sick of it. I want it to be over. I'm finished with this. I'm done. Leave, Corona, leave.
Oh, man, I'm with you, man. You know, Brian, about a year ago, you went viral. I mean, I looked it up. You had over 1 million views throughout different channels that reposted your stuff. I mean, you were talking about legacy, but legacy from a perspective of a young person and what we can do to build that legacy. And you say, you believe that our last name is stronger than our first name.
Absolutely. Without question, man. Your last name is bigger than your first name. I did a Google search, man. Anybody can do this search. Just look up all the companies that are last names. And it was crazy, man, because I realized that McDonald's is a last name, and Armani is a last name, and Hennessy is a last name, and Gucci,
Hennessy,
Welch's grape juice. Those are last names. And what I realized was that we weren't investing in a product, we were investing in families. That we weren't just giving our money to just a pocketbook or a motorcycle, because Rolls Royce is a last name. Harley Davidson those are last names. We were actually investing in families. And what dawned on me was I was spending all my money making every other family rich and making my own family broke. And so I did this thing called Living for Legacy, where I did a video where I'm just saying, hey, it's time for us to stop living for our first name and start living for our last name. I posted it, man. I woke up the next morning. I had about 2,000-3,000 new followers on Instagram, rappers, hip hop artists, athletes, pastors, politics. Everyone started sharing it, because I think we're living in a time where people are realizing that legacy is one of the most important topics we can talk about today.
When I seen that, man, it hit me to the core, because you see, I'm a man who teaches finances. I am a man who's not married, who doesn't have any kids, but I am working on building a legacy. Why do you think legacy is such an important topic for this young generation?
Because legacy is your mark, man. Legacy is your imprint on the world. And I think we need to start being intentional about the legacy that we leave. I went through this experience where I rented a car, man, and I was in a quick, fast hurry. I rented a car real quick, and the car had a little bit of an odor in it. I didn't think much of it, because I just said, let me put an air freshener in it and then keep moving. When I brought the car back, when they charged me, I realized they charged me $400 more than what I agreed to pay for the car. When I went back and said, why y'all charge me so much? They said, you brought the car back with an odor in it. I said, no, I didn't. I got the car with an odor in it. They said, no, you brought the car back smelling like cigarette smoke. After about 30 minutes of going back and forth, I'll never forget what the woman said. She said, well, if you didn't put the odor in the car, the person before you did. And I guess you're just going to have to pay for what somebody else did. And what I realized is that most of us are paying a price for what our parents did. Most of us have an addiction that didn't start with us. It started with our parents. Most of us have a depression issue that didn't start with us. It started with our grandparents. Most of us are bad with money, Anthony, not because of us, but because we inherited a poverty mentality. And what I'm trying to do is, I don't want us to pass down no more stinky cars. I don't want us to pass down no more stinky lives. At this point, I want you to clean up your life so that we can finally start passing down to generations a life that they would welcome and love living.
Yo, man, and you're there, I'm there, and you wrote a book on this. So what was that the main reason why you wrote this book, or what really sparked you to write a book for other young people to have a conversation about legacy? I mean, what is a 20-year-old doing thinking about legacy? We should be out there buying Gucci, right?
No, here's the deal. You're going to leave a legacy whether you want to or not. And I think we got to change this conversation about legacy and move it from what do people remember about me when I die to what do people remember about me when I leave the room? What do people remember about me when I leave this job? And I think you're always leaving legacy. Legacy is not just a thing about when I die. Legacy's happening right now. If you're 20 years old, somebody's talking about you in some room. And the question is, are you going to be intentional about what they're saying, or are you just going to leave it to chance? Mm-hmm. Are you going to leave it to chance that hopefully they see the things about me that I want them to see? But man, you ask the average 21-year-old, when they were 15 and 16, man, there were some things that they did that are still following them now. And I'm saying, as early as we can, let's be intentional about our lives, man. I don't want to be known as the late person. I don't want to be known as the broke person. I don't want to be known as a person when I leave a room, people just say, thank God that person's not here anymore. No, I want people to remember me, and I want them to remember me for the right things. So legacy is about being intentional about your life and not leaving it to chance.
All right. I'll pause there. In the share. Stop share. Oh, there. This here. All right. So, yeah. So that was discussing legacy as intentionality, and some of the questions that I have from that are, what do people know that you're Catholic when you leave the room? People know that you're Catholic. Your friends know you're Catholic. When I was younger, in high school, I had a lot of good times. I enjoyed youth ministry, but I did not invite my friends, my closest friends, to it. I don't know why. It just either never thought about it, or I thought that it was like a section of my friends that I should never share. The section of like some of my friends I should never even, they should never meet. They would never be interested in one another. I don't know. I never invited them over. I always thought it was like that one part of my life that that was a part of my life. Like going somewhere, you're on the soccer team, but then you don't invite your friends to be part of the soccer team necessarily. I mean, maybe some of you do, but it's like, I'm a part of the soccer team. I want to be part of it, but if you guys want to, go ahead, but you got to try out. Youth ministry, you don't have to try out. Core team maybe, but not for just showing up to youth groups and being a part of the ministry and sort of fundraising and other philanthropic ways where you are giving of your time, where you're giving of money, and all that action of the youth ministry that can imprint a specific Catholic identity upon you. Even if you're not a part of that, though, do people know that you're Catholic? Do your friends know you're Catholic? Are you wearing something like a crucifix, like one of these guys? Not that large one. That's a bit that's a bit ostentatious. I'm talking about this. Something small like this. This is a scapular, and it's something that you're actually supposed to wear under. But do people know you wear that? Do people know that you go to mass, that you go to church, that you watch mass at home, that you pray? If they don't, my friends necessarily do not. Yeah, I went to Catholic schooling and we didn't discuss that type of stuff. But today, I'm thinking of this. People know I'm Catholic, yes. People want me to be at the parish. I hope so. Do they know that they know me for my faith, or they know me for my arguments? Do they know me for my complaints? Do they know me for my criticisms? What do they know you for? They know you for your Instagram posts, for your TikTok posts, for promiscuity, either on the internet or in person. Do they know you for your outrageous jokes? Do they know you for how you're trying to be the best Catholic possible, the best son or daughter? Or they know you for their rebelliousness? How do they know you? And when it comes to legacy, they made a point of having discussed doing stuff at 15 that carries on into your 20s. Are you doing things that are good that carries on in positive ways into your 20s, or are you doing things that are developing bad habits into your 20s? I developed stuff that was bad habits. I have a lot of really good experiences that I built on into my 20s, but there's still an identity that you kind of either regret or you build upon in a negative way or in a positive way into your 20s, and your college years, or just your work years. So this discussion of legacy is very important. And are you intentional about building a positive legacy of not necessarily being concerned about what people know you because you're concerned about all of everybody's opinions, but more of like in your actions and your desires and how people see what you do and what you believe. Is that what you want people to know you for? So that's it for this clip, and we'll see how this works because this is the second time I've done it. So stop recording now.